Hello beautiful movie fans, thanks so much for clicking on this video. My name is Chris. Let's dive into some of the movie news we got to discuss here today. Some of the things we're going to be diving into here today is we got our first trailer for the Oprhan horror movie prequel titled Oprhan First Kill. We have some concept art from Wakanda Forever leaking our first look to the new Iron Man suit. Halloween Ends having its first public test screening last night, sharing some details spoiler free. That along with so much more. So I'm going to need you beautiful movie fans to give me your opinions down below with everything we discuss here today. Something really quick off the top, now that Ms. Marvel has concluded its 6-episode arc, I will be posting a spoiler video talking about my full thoughts on the series. Some of y'all been really asking for my thoughts on Ms. Marvel, and I have a lot to say with the way they ended it and that post-credit scene, so stay tuned for that. So with that out of the way, let's go ahead and react to some trailers here. One that you guys have also been asking my opinion a lot on is Rob Zombie's up-and-coming reboot of The Munsters. Now, I totally get why some of y'all would want my opinion on this because it's Rob Zombie, and these are iconic characters in the horror lineup, but unfortunately, The Munsters was just before my time. I never really got to watch or enjoy the original show, so I had very little thoughts on it when it was being announced. And now here looking at the first trailer they have officially released, with all due respect, this is not for me, man. I'm even seeing people who grew up with the Munsters or are really big fans of Rob Zombie's work being so surprised with how this came out because it just looks very cheap. It looks like so low budget, like if this was some sort of high school fan project. And that really sucks to say because I actually like a lot of the things Rob Zombie does, and it was kind of cool to see him do a PG movie, something you wouldn't really expect from him. But really the tone, style, and the type of humor they're putting out here does not appeal to me at all. If anything, I think this would be such a snooze fest for me to actually try and sit down and watch. Maybe somehow this could still turn out good, but when you give us a 2-minute trailer and these were the best scenes you wanted to show to your audience, that's not looking good. But again, that's coming from someone who didn't grow up with the Munsters, has no nostalgia attachment to it, so maybe some of y'all feel differently. But this trailer wasn't for me. What about you guys? Another trailer here is for a horror movie I've been wildly anticipating, and that is the prequel to The Orphan, titled Oprhan First Kill. Now again, if you're someone who hasn't seen that first Orphan movie, I would suggest using the timestamp in the description and skipping to the next topic, because in discussing my thoughts for this first trailer, it's gonna spoil the big twist ending of that first movie, and I definitely think it's a nice surprising twist for anyone who hasn't seen the movie, so please go check it out or skip to the next topic. So now with all that said, this movie looks right up my alley. It's probably not going to be anything groundbreaking or even come as close to the shock value you got watching that original Orphan movie, but I think it's still a creepy and interesting story to kind of see where the story of Esther all first started. And in this trailer, they are kind of playing up some of the more rather creepy moments, because the story seems to follow a family that lost their daughter, and then 4 years later, Esther appears pretending to be that daughter, and the trailer also doesn't go ahead and hide the fact that Esther actually isn't a child and is a grown woman in a child's body, essentially. So I'm all down for this. Even more impressive that they decided not to use any CGI or de-aging technology, and the actress who plays Esther is now 25, and they're still trying to just make her look like a little kid with lighting, camera tricks, illusions. That gives me a level of respect for the production of this movie, even if in some shots you could definitely tell it's a grown woman and not a kid. But either way, I would have rather have had that than looking at a face of a kid that I knew was all covered up with CGI. The movie's also going to be coming out on Paramount Plus and in select theaters. I think I'm going to try to do the theater release, but I want to know from you guys, if you saw the trailer for Oprhan First Kill, are you excited? Moving on from there, something that happened earlier in the week that was definitely exciting to hear about is some progress on Captain America 4. We got here the report that director Julius Onah will be the director for Captain America 4, and that did start to freak out some fans because they looked at his history and it pulled out Cloverfield Paradox, which one could argue is the worst in the Cloverfield franchise and one not a lot of people enjoy. I still don't want to put all the blame on the director with that movie though, because if you've heard about Cloverfield Paradox, you know that movie was never supposed to be a Cloverfield movie, and instead they went back and added things to make it a Cloverfield film. If anything, people should really be looking at his other work, Loose, that was critically acclaimed, got good reviews, and shows he's capable of making some really good movies. Director aside, I think most of us are just curious to how the storyline is going to play out here and how much front and center Sam Wilson's Captain America will be and who are going to be his supporting characters. They introduced us to a possible new version of the Falcon in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Will that actor be coming in to be the sidekick of Captain America? Will there be a spot here for Bucky Barnes, or is he going to be too busy doing the Thunderbolts movie? Who is going to be the villain? And our audience is wanting to see a Captain America that doesn't have any superpowers. From what I saw in the Falcon and Winter Soldier, I think Sam Wilson as Captain America could be a really awesome character. So I think this one movie is going to be so crucial to putting him on that pedestal and showing that he can be a leader of a team, whether that's the direction they want to go with for this Captain America. But with every MCU movie kind of dividing fans a little more and people are starting to notice the cracks, these future up and coming films have a lot of responsibility to kind of regain the entire fan base and get us excited for the future. What are you guys thinking with this update for Captain America 4? And it looks like we'll just continue on the Marvel train for a couple of more stories, because we had here a report that was released by Inverse, who for some reason wanted to go ahead and give credit to a bunch of 4chan Reddit leaks, which is why this spread on the internet like wildfire, and so many of you guys wanted me to talk about it, is possible casting details for the upcoming Fantastic Four. Now, like I just said, even though there was a reputable website that decided to take these 4chan Reddit leaks, let's take it with a grain of salt and just look at it as a hypothetical situation. The main reason I bring it up now is because we are set to get the announcement of the Fantastic Four pretty soon. If not at San Diego Comic-Con, then it's going to be at D23 later this year. So really, by the time Christmas comes, we're going to know who our new Fantastic Four is. And well, here in the article, they go ahead and talk about that Penn Badgley is the person that Marvel is looking at to possibly play Reed Richards. Now, this guy might look familiar to a lot of you because he's been on the Netflix show You. I recommend it to you guys out there if you have nothing to watch. It's a pretty interesting show. And you know what? I never had this person in my mind to play Reed Richards, but now that they've brought it up, I think this would be perfect. And that's kind of how all Marvel casting choices go. You have a person in mind, you think who would be good, then they announce who is actually going to be in the movie, and you go, wait, what? Then you sit on it for 10 seconds and go, oh, that's brilliant. Because again, if you're someone who has watched him on you know this actor has a certain way of speaking. The way he delivers dialogue is so precise and unique, it really shows off a level of intelligence and a bit of ego or arrogance, which is perfect for Reed Richards. I know there's going to be that fan base who's going to be upset no matter what just because it's not John Krasinski, but I think Sam Raimi made it clear when he told us Kevin Feige just did that to please the fans in an alternate universe, and that when getting our actual Fantastic Four for the MCU, it would be a younger cast, because let's face it, we need more iconic, recognizable characters to carry on the MCU. Still, we won't know for sure, but I throw it off to you guys. Would you like this actor to be Reed Richards? And do you think we'll get the announcement at Comic-Con or D23? Moving on here, talking about Black Panther Wakanda Forever, we are starting to get some merchandise leaks for the movie, because I still forget that it comes out this year. In fact, I'm so surprised we have not gotten a trailer, but with Thor already out in theaters, Miss Marvel now ended, I think it's time for Marvel to put all focus on Black Panther Wakanda Forever. We could be getting a trailer before the end of the month. Still, we got this merchandise leak showing off the women of Black Panther, and it gave us our first look to Riri Williams in her proto Iron Man suit. Now again, if you haven't heard, Riri Williams is a new upcoming character in the MCU called Ironheart. She's a very intelligent college student who decides one day to just build her Iron Man suit out of her college dorm, and here is what it'll be looking like in Black Panther Wakanda Forever. Now obviously some fans are complaining because it's not a perfect, super high-tech suit, but I think for a Mark 1, just the same way it was for Tony Stark, this is perfect for a starting off suit. She made this in her college dorm while Tony Stark
was able to build this in a cave with a box of scraps.
I think it works, and they'll obviously progress her suit over time like Marvel loves to do when she gets her Disney Plus series. All this stuff piling up with that surprise character in Black Panther. Then we have Riri Williams, we have Namor, we have them explaining why T'Challa is dead in the MCU, who the next Black Panther is, Wakanda versus Atlanteans. It feels like such a big movie, and I'm not that excited, because looking at all these official posters and merchandise, I'm like, damn, this movie is called Black Panther, and we are not seeing a Black Panther anywhere. Like, I am going to be so shocked if we get this trailer for Black Panther Wakanda Forever, and there is not a single person in the Black Panther outfit doing Black Panther things. There's like ongoing fan theories that Marvel might actually just change the title to Wakanda Forever, because this isn't really a Black Panther movie. It's more about the people of Wakanda, and that would make a lot more sense. I guess what I'm trying to say is I'm very curious to see Black Panther 2 and how it goes down, but at the same time, I just don't know if I'm that excited for what they're about to show us. I hope I'm proven wrong and it's one of the best movies of the MCU, but with every film being so divisive, I think Black Panther 2 is getting ready for a beaten by fans, People are going to be super picky. What do you guys think of this concept art look for Black Panther 2 Wakanda Forever? All right, now moving on to talk about some Michael Myers Halloween Ends, because it looks like they have had their first public test screening where people have now seen the movie. Now again, reminder with test screenings, we can never be 100% sure because it is just one sample size audience that can't necessarily determine what everyone in the world will think when the movie's released. Also, I'm not looking to give away any spoilers because I myself am super excited for Halloween Ends. This could be the last Michael Myers movie we get for like 10 years. There's a good chance Blumhouse could re-up their contract and get the license to Michael Myers for more movies, but in the case they don't and we end up getting a reboot somewhere down the line, we gotta enjoy this last Michael Myers movie we get for now. So the test screening happened in New Jersey last night, and as soon as it was over, I had multiple people who attended that screening actually directly message me. I even asked them to send me proof, and they all sent me their confirmation for the screening that I know exactly what they look like because I've been at test screenings myself. And this is one of those test screenings where no one knew what they were about to watch until they sat down and the movie started. But either way, now with some spoiler-free details that they have been revealed, there was a rumor going around, one, that Michael would die 15 minutes into the movie, and then it would be a psychological thriller that people were believing like crazy. That's BS. Another thing that was going around by some actual credible sources is that Michael Myers would have had a different look for the beginning of the movie and would then change into his classic Halloween mask and suit by the end of the film. That is also incorrect. However, my sources did say for the majority of the movie, Michael is in his classic costume. So it looks like there is maybe some sort of costume change towards the end. Still, again, they were being vague with me because I didn't want to be spoiled. So it could be a situation like in Halloween Kills where Michael's mask gets taken off and he walks around without it for a little bit. So now that I knew those rumors were BS, the main thing I wanted to ask my sources was, okay, how is this Halloween movie different than everything else? Because that's what we've been hearing. This movie is different. It's not going to be the typical slasher movie like the rest. And basically it just comes down to it's more focused on its story, that in a way it is a psychological thriller focusing on the trauma Allison and Laurie Strode had from the aftermath of the last two movies. But even the people I was talking to saying that that story really takes away from Michael Myers, that Michael actually in this movie kind of takes a back seat, not only for the story, but apparently there is another threat in this movie, or maybe like some other villain. And again, I don't know exactly what that threat is. That was just a vague detail I was given, but I think back to the other two movies and it was kind of the same way. We had the surprise of Michael's doctor who kind of turned out to be bad. In a weird way in Halloween Kills, the people of Haddonfield were the other antagonists because they were trying to go after somebody innocent who wasn't Michael at all. That was actually another threat other than Michael. So this is something they have continuously done in the franchise, is introduce someone else that is a villain other than just Michael Myers. So that part doesn't necessarily scare me because it's happened in the other two movies and I like the other two movies. It's just the part that Michael is overshadowed in this movie and I'm like, man, this is his grand finale. Michael shouldn't be overshadowed. Last two details, one that I like and one that I'm kind of sad on, is one, I was told we're not really going to get an explanation or even a deep dive of where Michael has been the past 4 years, that the movie will just kind of glance over that, and one source even tells me that they don't even have a fear that he'll come back someday. And I was like, damn, I was really wanting to see what Michael's been up to for 4 years, you know? Did he just stay at that window for 4 years? Did he go live in the woods? Did he jump town to town? But then again, that would fall into the category of revealing mysteries with Michael Myers that fans hate. The more the shape is just the shape and we don't know about him, the creepier he is. So maybe it's creepy that we just don't know what Michael was up to for 4 years and he could have been doing anything. But the other detail here is that Michael will not be as strong as he was in the previous movies. If you know Michael Myers, he has this ungodly strength where he can crush your head like a watermelon. They're saying here Michael will be suffering from the effects of Halloween Kills, where he got beaten, he got stabbed, he basically got pummeled by Haddonfield, and he's not just gonna walk away from those injuries. Apparently some of those will carry over into the film and he'll be a little weakened, which I know might make some mad, but I actually kind of like that. Still, those were just the details I was given. I trusted people who were telling me this because they had proof. You know, I like to be as honest with you guys as possible, but you're hearing these details for Halloween Ends. Does this make you excited? Does it not? Let's wait until we get that trailer that should be coming in the next week and then start making our own opinions. But that is all the movie news we currently have going on right now, guys. I want to thank you so much for taking time out of your day to watch me talk some movie news. Don't be forgetting to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, follow me on Twitter at 3CFilms or on TikTok at 3CFilms. But as always, I'm Chris. Take care.